Could you guys get used to that? Is that pretty good? Is that a nice feeling? Congratulations to all of you. This show is fantastic, and finally you're able to share it with the world. First of all, I want to talk to our cast, our young cast here. You haven't had much of an opportunity to have these kinds of experiences yet. How does it feel to feel that kind of reception walking out on a stage like this? Stunned silence. It's a lot.
I don't think I can get used to this.
I mean, did you guys imagine when you signed on for this? I mean, you knew what you were getting into, but did you know what you were getting into, Leah?
No. I knew it was something, but I didn't know it was something. Like, oh my gosh, like I am nervous in a good way. Like literally, like I knew it was going to be like applauding and stuff, but when I came out here and I heard all those screams, I was like, oh my goodness gracious.
For you, Walker, I mean, you filmed this kind of, not in secret, but like you're a group of people making a fun project together, and now the world is ready to receive it. Is this a daunting part of the process to kind of like share it with the world?
I mean, yeah. Well, I know if I wasn't up here, I'd be sitting in there, so.
Right. So, it has been a journey to get here, Rick and Becky. Let's talk a little bit about how this came to pass. Did you think this was, did you know in recent years this was the way to go? How did this, in short, how did this happen? How did we get to the point where we have this wonderful series on Disney+?
So how did it, first of all, thank you guys for being here. It's like, it's amazing. I feel like we organized a flash mob on social media. It's like, we told you guys like 4 days ago, here you are. So thank you. So how did it come to pass? Go ahead. How did we get this series?
How did we get this? Well,
I'm actually asking you because I don't remember.
well, Rick. Yeah, no. 2019, we were looking at a picture the other day. Rick is standing there in Hollywood, smiling to the camera. I think we posted it on social media. And that was when we were starting to have conversations with Disney about the show, because we had an opportunity. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of a moment where everything kind of clicked into place, and we knew that Fox had been bought by Disney, and Fox had the film rights, and Disney has always been my publisher for Percy Jackson, and so we started thinking, we could maybe do this with Disney and have Percy kind of come home and do the television show with them. And we knew really right away that we wanted it to be a TV show because, well, it's more time. I mean, you have 8 episodes to tell the story of the Lightning Thief, better than you can do it in a feature film, which obviously is only 2 or whatever hours, and you're going to end up cutting a lot of stuff. So it made sense, and fortunately, after 4,223 meetings,
yes.
we
and lots of notes. Lots of notes.
The casting has to be perfect for something like this. You've nailed it with these 3 cast members and the extraordinary cast. What do you guys remember about the audition process? Did you feel like when you walked in the room, you had to read on your respective characters, or were you take me into the room, the audition process for each of you? Who felt good about it? Who was worried?
Okay, so, oh my goodness. So, like, I had self-tapes before, of course, and when I got the chemistry parts and stuff for it, I went to this building. Actually, me and my mother were walking in, and I think we were lost for a second, and Mr. Rick came out the door and was like, "Yoo-hoo, over here." I was like, "Oh, okay, hey," and I started like tiptoeing in, start walking fast and stuff. But the audition process, it did take a while. Well, not as long as what Walker had. That was like 2 years almost. But seeing Mr. Rick there, and I was like, what the heck? I was like, I cannot believe this right now. Like, I am standing here with Mr. Rick. and it was crazy. But even doing the audition, there was something in me that, like, I still, how do I explain this, felt like Leah. And I was still doing the part, but then I feel like at one point, Mr. Rick, you had said something to me, and it literally changed me the next time I came to my chemistry read. And I felt like from then on, I just like got better and better at trying to be Annabeth, really. And now I'm here now, but you know. Thank you so much. But yeah, that was basically my motivational audition process.
Aryan, for you, did you familiar with the books, connect with Grover? Take me through the process a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I think we were all huge fans of the books before we even knew that there was a show. My friend had to send me the open call, and you know, eventually when I got the audition, I mean, this is such an iconic series. I honestly didn't think I was gonna get it, and I was in New York doing a different project, and I submitted a tape, and I was like, I don't know, might as well just see what happens. And then I didn't hear back for like 3 months, and then I got a proper callback with new sides. They remembered who I was, and I started freaking out in my little New York apartment. And yeah, I kept going, and I made it to the chemistry reads, which is where I met these guys, and it was a blast.
Walker, when you get the call that you've got in the role, is that pretty much the best news you've had in your young career yet? Like, what was that moment like?
Oh yeah, it definitely was. I think, well, I thought they told me it was just like an interview with Dan and John, and so I broke out my old Camp Halfway t-shirt from 3rd grade. That still somehow fit me. And then Rick and Becky showed up and told me I got the part on Zoom, and then like 2 weeks later, we were doing chemistry reads with Aryan and Leah.
Did you guys immediately go back to the books? Is it useful to look? Obviously, the movies did a different kind of thing, but like, what did you do? I'm being diplomatic. I'm being diplomatic. But like, what did you do when you got the part? Like, what was the first step?
The first thing I did after I got the part?
Yeah.
I don't remember. I just remember getting the part, and then
Fair enough.
That's
Fair enough.
kinda it.
Well, when
I
did
don't
it become real? You step on set. What's the first like? Oh, I'm in Percy Jackson moment that you guys remember?
I think it wasn't really like, you don't feel like it's actually happening until it's happening. Like, I never really imagined it, how it came out, you know what I mean? Like, I think the day that it really made me realize that we were filming Percy Jackson was when we went to Camp Half-Blood for the first time, and I don't know, it's just something about being there was just, and I was in a real Camp Half-Blood t-shirt, not like a fake one.
Right. For you, Rick, for you, Becky, I mean, again, being very involved in the process this time, being a writer on episodes and being truly a part of the process, what were like, I know it's probably hard to pinpoint, but were there a couple of things that you kept saying to the writers, to the executive producers, that were important to you that you wanted done in a certain way this time?
That it had to be authentic to the books. It had to have that. And it's not about some of the, you know, how it looks, or it has to be how it feels, you know?
Yeah, I mean, exactly. I mean, if it doesn't say one line of dialogue from page 35,
Right.
you know, well, that's fine, you know, whatever. But it needs to feel like Percy Jackson. It needs to have that humor. It's got the heart. It's got the action. It's going to feel a little different just because TV is a different medium than a book. I mean, in the book, you're in Percy's head the entire time. And so you're hearing his internal monologue. And that's where you're getting that snark, those comments. You can't really do that 100% of the time in a television show. At least I don't know that you could do it well. And so we had to figure out a way to introduce these great characters that didn't rely on that single narrative point of view. And that's why it was so important to find 3 great actors who not only were excellent on their own, but worked incredibly well together. And as we've been saying all day, and how many interviews did we have?
52.
As I've said 52 times today, we were very fortunate to get these three.
There are literally millions and millions of people that are very anxious to see the show finally. One of them hit me up and wanted me to convey a message to you guys, to you, Walker, that I think is pretty interesting. This is from Logan Lerman to you, Walker. Logan asked me to tell you this. The show looks amazing, and I can't wait to see you all crush it in your roles. You're making a lot of people happy, bringing these characters to life. I can't imagine a better fit for Percy Jackson than Walker. You were so brilliant in The Atom Project. Hope you like eating blue food the next few years, because I think you've got a hit show on your hands, Logan. That's got to feel pretty good. What do you think?
Definitely does. A little bit.
So you haven't met Logan yet, but now this is the beginning of a beautiful friendship. Clearly he wants to meet you.
I did. I have DM'd him before about. I watched one of his movies, Perks Being a Wallflower. I really liked it. I thought it was so good that I like DM'd him and I told him it was good.
Amazing. Awesome. Well, he's a class act, and he's right. You guys are you're going to be busy the next few years, I have a feeling. Does this audience here in New York want to see some footage, maybe? Okay. No recording it. You know my warning. December 20th is when the show launches, but today you get to see here in New York the Minotaur chase from episode 1. Take a look. Percy Jackson. So guys, Walker, what does that feel like on set? Like that's a lot. That's acting. You have to pretend. You have to really like focus up. Like, was that hard to, I don't know, go to that place in your imagination and?
Well, I think one of like the things that kind of helped us kind of get the feel of the scene fast and feel like we're really there was the volume stage, which, I mean, all of that, I mean, except the Minotaur, obviously, it's all there, you know what I mean, in the rain, and that's all the volume stage. Yeah,
do you guys know about the volume? Like Star Wars does that too, where it's like this amazing thing where you essentially can see the environments around you thanks to this like state-of-the-art, essentially old-school green screen, right? Mm-hmm. So for that, like, did you guys also, and you also get to really, I don't know, mix it up with stunts too in this. Did all of you take to that equally? Do you enjoy doing stunt work? Yeah?
Yeah.
Leah?
Yes.
What's the hardest stunt you had to do in the shoot?
I feel like the water scenes, really, like all of the practicing with in the water. Obviously, because I had to go like 17 feet down into the water and stuff, which is something that you normally don't do when you go to a pool. So, you know, like they were like, yeah, you're just gonna get in and stuff. And I was like, okay, cool. I'm just like swimming, doing my little doggy stuff, whatever. And then they're like, okay, so we're gonna slowly pull you down. And I was like, okay, that's fine. I'm gonna hold my breath. And then they were like, we're gonna keep going. 10 feet, we're gonna keep going. 13, I'm like, when? I thought we were stopping at 3 feet. Like, what happened to the little, like, shallow end? But I feel like that was my hardest part, but, like, my funnest challenge at the same time, because they taught me how to look like I'm breathing underwater, how to talk underwater, how to scream, how to, like, do weird flips and stuff. It was a lot, but it was very fun and challenging. They even took videos of it and stuff. It might look crazy, but it was good.
Amazing. All these new skills you've picked up that I don't know where you're going to use again outside of Percy Jackson. Aryan, who teaches one to walk like a goat? Like, is there a school for that?
It's a process. They brought in this guy. His name is Rod. He's the coolest person I've ever met. And he, like, does this as a job. Like, his... Sorry, that sounded a little rude. No, his job is like helping people look like, you know, otherworldly creatures in films. And we spent, like on our first day of prep, we spent 2 hours like dissecting how a goat's like leg looks. Turns out their heel is way higher up on their leg than you would think. And so now, and so he taught me how to walk like a goat. And I like couldn't stop doing it after we filmed.
Do you want to demonstrate for us now? You still got it in you?
Like, get up and do it?
I mean, we're all here. This is an exclusive, guys, just for you.
So, like, what he taught me was there's, like, a bunch of different ways he stands when he's, like, happy or angry or sad. Sorry.
Imagine a sad goat walking.
What?
I said, imagine a sad goat walking.
I did that.
Yeah, let's see the sad goat walk.
A sad gopher walk? Oh. And so he kind of like, the way it was described is, you know, you're falling with each step and you catch yourself with the ball of your foot. And so you're just standing on like your tiptoes for the entire shoot. So now I have calves of steel.
You really rose to the occasion for that. I congratulate you.
Thank you,
I
thank
put you
you.
on the spot, and you did it, man. Well
Thank
done. Where to go from there? I'm lost. I didn't expect him to do it. I didn't expect it.
Every time we do like an interview where they ask us what like how he does the goat walk, he finds some way to mention that he has calves of steel, even if they don't.
It's
Even
true.
if they
I
don't
put the
ask
effort
about
in.
it, he still mentions.
He's so proud. He's so proud. He should be.
Thank you.
What's the goosebump moment on set for you this time around? Like when you're on set through this series, there must have been so many surreal moments for you, sir.
Yeah, I mean, I have to agree with Walker on that. I think the first time I stepped into Camp Half-Blood, and it was real. I mean, sure, we had helped with the art design. We knew what it was going to look like. We thought, we understood, okay, fine. And then you walk through this field into a forest, and there's a clearing, and they have constructed the camp. And
Now keep in mind that some of the cabins are not there. They're blue screens. And that's really weird.
okay, so you walk into half a camp. And yeah. But it was still so incredible. And I knew we were doing it right when we looked up in the tree and there were 2 owls. Just literally just wild owls just sitting there looking, and we got it in the footage. They said, "Get the camera crew on those owls." You know? I don't know if they paid him scale or what, but it was pretty cool. Athena's looking out for us.
We have one more clip for the guys here in New York. Shall we take a look? This is a longer one, guys. Capture the flag, anybody? All right, here we go. Another exclusive just for you guys. No recording. Percy Jackson. Here we go.
Let's go.
Just so you know, this is not the normal reaction. Just for context. This focus group is speaking volumes. The scale is obviously huge of this series. Also, the cast is huge, and you work with some amazing talents from top to bottom. Lin-Manuel Miranda, Megan Mullally. I mean, the list goes on and on. Now, were you guys familiar with all their work? I don't want to put you on the spot, but like, did you know Lin-Manuel Miranda? Yes?
I mean, I knew of him from Hamilton. I watched Hamilton before that, and I did like a Mary Poppins play in 5th grade, so I watched the movie before that. So
Okay.
the newer one.
Was it intimidating to have those folks on set, or were they pretty chill around you guys?
They were really, really chill, but like in a fun way. Like I definitely had a really crazy experience with Mr. Lin, and I just have to get that out there really quickly. Like I had this Nirvana sweatshirt on, and this is when we were doing like the like just a rehearsal beforehand, and he was, oh my gosh, I feel so embarrassed. He was like, oh my gosh, I love that band. I used to listen to their songs all the time. I turned around, I was like, that's a band? And, and I feel so bad saying that right now. And then he fell, he died, and then he came back to life, and then he rolled over the chair, and then he did all like this, oh my God, and like went crazy. Then he came back up and looked at me and said, wait, so what'd you think it was? I was like, oh, I thought it was a clothing brand, you know? And because it said Nirvana right there. I promise you guys, I feel so bad now. But later on that day, I had this full-on lecture in music theory. I came back in the trailer, and literally, like in the makeup trailer, while he was getting his makeup off and stuff, it was crazy. Like the lady was doing his makeup, and he was like, Leah, I want you to come here for a second, honey. I was like, yes, sir. I was like, please don't be mad at me. And then he was like, listen to this. Started blasting the Nirvana music, the whole album, literally in the makeup trailer. And that day, I had a lot like of things on me, so I was in there for like an hour listening to all the music. I was like, I think I've heard this from Mr. Lin like 3 times already. He's like, no, just listen again, listen again. I was like, so now I know every single song, very, very well.
Season 2, all Nirvana soundtrack. It's going to be amazing. Who's got the best musical taste in the cast? Do you guys? Oh.
Probably
Dior.
Or no, Dior. Who were you gonna say? I just said Leah.
Oh, that too.
I feel like me
Leah
and
too.
Dior.
Actually, no. Leah said Jay-Z was bad in an interview.
Did you? Wait, when?
Okay.
Lighthouse
Oh,
interview.
yeah, you're right.
It's the most controversial moment of the night, guys.
minute.
What happened?
That was just because I was like trying to get Aryan to like.
Okay, I
Like,
get that. I understand
this
that.
is, like,
You
I
heard
was
the
trying
Calves
to-
of Steel one too many times, and you were fighting back.
Like,
Yeah.
I like his songs. I feel like I just picked him because I don't listen to him as much. So I feel like just like that was the first person that just came to my mind. I didn't even think you want to know the number range though. Like it wasn't that bad. It was a 6, but you know, like
I'm gonna save you. We're gonna move on. We're gonna move on.
Yeah. Cut out.
Can I just say something real quick?
Please.
Just from watching that, I just remembered this. So, you know the scene where after I got snapped Dior's spear and she like screams and runs at me? I'm sorry, I just remember this. I'm sorry for like butting in, but I was actually afraid. Like looking at that, she had pure malicious intent in her eyes. I thought she was gonna hurt me.
Wow. This is like therapy tonight for Walker. We're going back. Are you okay now? You feel you're safe up here with us.
Not with her.
We have so many audience questions. I want to get through a bunch of these. Okay. Firstly, we love each of you so much. What connects you to your character the most? Anyone can take that. How do you feel most connected to your respective characters? What do you like about them?
Wait, chiropractors or characters?
Yeah. How's
I'm
your
so
back?
sorry. I
How's your
literally
back? Is it okay?
I think we're all very
Chiropractor really
connected
loud
to our
earlier.
chiropractors.
Yeah.
I'm
Sweet.
so sorry. I feel like
It's my enunciation. It's not you. Don't worry.
no. I don't know why my ears are still like popped from like the elevators. So like say that one more time. I feel like you said characters though.
What connects you most to your respective characters? What do you connect with?
All the characters. Okay. All right.
Anybody?
I guess I will. So, what I really connect with my chiropractor is, no, I'm just joking, I promise. But I really feel like I connect with Annabeth in like so many ways that like I didn't know I could. You know, definitely I feel like I'm very independent. I'm very strong. I can be fierce when I can be. Like I don't know how that makes sense, but like. And also, she has like this vulnerability to her inside of her, you know what I mean? Like, even though what you see on these episodes, you see Annabeth always like, you know, she wasn't really sorry when she pushed him, actually. So like obviously she had no emotion. She was
Neither
like,
were
you. Sorry. Didn't mean that. But I feel like you know, like, you don't really know her vulnerability until you really see it in her eyes. And I feel like that's how it is with me. Like, I can always be independent, but I feel like at any time, like, if something is mentioned, I feel like there's a sensitivity, but, like, it could be in a good way or a bad way, you know what I mean? Like, sometimes you'll see Annabeth have, like, that little light in her eyes, like, wow, this is where it all started. Like, this is where I am again. And then it'll also be that time where it's like, can't believe I'm back here, you know what I mean? So I feel like I liked showing that in the scenes, of course, but I also feel like I'm like that in person.
Love it. Love it. Walker, what do you connect most with about Percy, you think?
I feel like we have very similar senses of humor. I've always connected to him over that, I think.
Okay, here we go. To Rick, how does it feel knowing you've had such a big impact on generations of readers?
Wait, we're skipping the Calves of Steel? What?
Well, I just knew it would end up in, oh, by the way, I've got Calves of Steel. Here we go. Aryan,
That was
please.
what I was gonna say. So,
You and Grover share what besides Calves of Steel?
right. Besides the Calves of Steel, you know, we all read it very early on, and Grover, it was like the second book series I ever read, and Grover left a huge impact on me. He's an extremely empathetic character, and he's so gracious of people and like their flaws. And I'm not nearly arrogant enough to say I am that gracious of people and their flaws, but it is something, or even just that empathy is something I tried to emulate on a day-to-day.
So I'm sorry, what was the question?
No, that's
about-
okay. It's a big one, and I'm sure you've had years to kind of absorb this, but how does it feel knowing you've had such a big impact on generations of readers? Does that ever get absorbed fully? Because it's a lot to take in, I would imagine.
Generations, yeah, it makes me feel old. But no, it's incredible, and it's hard to wrap my mind around. I think Becky and I have had this conversation a lot.
Right? And our son is 29 now.
Yeah, the little guy that I told bedtime story to that became Percy Jackson, he's 29 now.
Yeah.
So by the way, he has ADHD and dyslexia like Percy, obviously. That's why I told him that story. Now he is an accessibility expert, a coordinator at a university in Boston, and he's doing that because he wants to help kids get accommodations like he needed. Pretty cool.
For your actors, if you could play any other character in the Percy Jackson universe, Lindsay wants to know, which character would you pick?
I'm gonna say not Poseidon, but Toby Stevens.
You want to be Toby Stevens.
I want to be Toby Stevens. Yes.
We all want to be Toby.
He has the coolest accent ever.
Yeah. You want to try it out? Can you do it?
I can't. I mean, I don't know if I remember the lines, but I remembered I had a whole scene with him, and I think Dan Schatz has a video of me reciting the whole scene with Virginia, that plays my mom. She was playing me, and I was playing Toby. But no, I would have to hear it again to.
Okay,
it's
fair
one of
enough.
those things.
Next time you're back here, I expect the whole thing in Toby.
Oh yeah.
For you guys, if you could choose another character, who do you choose?
Mr. D, but I would also want to be Jason Mantzoukas.
Yeah. Yeah. I get it. Yeah. Leah?
This is hard. Oh my gosh, I was gonna say a funny thing. I feel like I would play. I don't know why I went to like that accent. So sorry. I feel like, oh my goodness gracious. I feel like I would be Medusa. Like, like that was actually pretty cool how I said that. Sorry, but like, I would feel like I would be Medusa, and also Miss Jessica Parker by herself. I love her. Also, I don't know if you guys know, but she's also in another Cinderella story. Love that movie. But I feel like I would be Medusa because, like, if I don't want to talk to someone, I can just be like, nah, you see, and then, never have to hear from them again.
You've thought this through. It's very wise. Emily wants to know, Percy lives in New York with so many superheroes in New York. If Percy could battle any comic book hero. Oh, everybody likes Emily's question. Emily's taking my job. Great. Superhero versus Percy. Who do you want to battle?
Versus,
Or team up. You can team up.
I think there's only one like team up option, Spider-Man. That'd be awesome. I don't know about versus though. I do want to see Percy versus Harry Potter at some point. It wouldn't be much of a fight though.
It wouldn't be much of a fight. Is that what you said?
Yeah, it wouldn't be much of a fight.
Meaning what?
It wouldn't.
Oh my God, I'm sorry, but like, I'm just gonna elaborate on this real quick. It would not be a fight at all. Oh my gosh. I don't know how you could say Harry Potter would win that.
True.
I do not have a message from Daniel Radcliffe here. He did
Wonder
not write
why.
anything to you.
He's in town too.
He is in town.
Right.
What episode are you most excited for fans to see? We'll start with you. Rick, Becky, anything?
Wow. I love, what is it, episode 5? The one where we meet Ares? Yeah?
I've been talking about this all day.
It's a great episode. All 3 of you have amazing parts in that particular episode. Well, I mean, all the way through, but that particularly stands out in my mind as a great episode. And it's one we've never seen adapted before, and it's so good.
Anyone else? Becky?
Oh, people have gotten tired of me all day talking about Grover and Ares having their little moments together.
A scene, an episode you guys are excited for the audience to see? Anything jump out?
That specific episode?
I'm saying just generally. Is there any scene that you shot, you're like, oh, I can't wait for the world to see
I
this?
mean, there's one answer.
The Ares fight.
Ares fight.
Yes.
Come on.
Yes.
One of our audience members wants to know, what song do you associate with your character?
I think this is kind of directed towards me. Riptide.
Riptide.
Anyone else want to take it? No? Any songs? Definitely nothing from Jay-Z. We know that.
Actually, no, it's like,
That's okay. Rick,
don't know.
unless you have something, all good. Rick, what part of yourself did you put into these characters? Do you see those qualities in your young cast? It must all be in all of them, I would imagine.
I mean, I think the most obvious one, correct me if I'm wrong, Becky, but is the sense of humor. The kind of that snarky middle school sense of humor that I've never matured past. That's me, and Percy shares that, which was why it was so incredible to find Walker, because I think Walker's right. You do have you are Percy Jackson. You have his voice. You have his sense of humor.
This is another question for Rick. Where is your favorite place to find magic? Asking for the newly big kids out there.
Honestly, the public library. Incredible place. Check it out. Open any book. It's a door into any world you want to go to. That's pretty magical.
I mean, that must be the greatest compliment. I know you hear this all the time, but like that these books introduce so many to reading, to a passion for reading. It doesn't get any better than that, does it?
Oh, we hear that from parents all the time. Since the book came out, I mean, the letters from parents, it's just incredible. And the letters from kids, adult kids, now, that said I would never have picked up a book if it wasn't for Percy Jackson.
Is your relationship to the books and the characters different now than when you were kind of writing it in solitude? I mean, it's now you share these characters with the world.
Yeah, at first my older son, he was kind of miffed because it was his bedtime story, right? And it's like, what do you mean you're sharing it with the world? It's my story. But it has. I mean, we have had Percy and Annabeth and Grover and the rest of the gang as members of our family for decades now, and we've gotten to know them, and they have grown, and it's been really amazing to have them in our lives for that long. And they are kind of reflections of ourselves.
Of us. I mean, we're old, but yes.
Yeah. Just pretend we're not old, and then it's true. Annabeth and Percy, their relationship. You're looking at it. This is Percybeth right here.
Of course, our ship name is Brick.
Every good relationship needs a ship name, doesn't it? Right? What did playing your character teach you about yourself, guys? Ooh, big question. How does this change you, this experience?
That's a very good question.
It's deep.
I know. How are you different on the next job? I mean, you've survived and conquered Percy Jackson. Do you feel more confidence on the new jobs? Like, oh, I can hold my own in something like this.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I don't want to speak for them, but this is the biggest job I've ever worked on by a mile. And all of that experience and getting to work with such a supportive crew. I mean, they were there with us every step of the way. And looking back, I know for a fact I asked some stupid questions. Like, the stunts team was probably sick of me. Like, what?
We all asked them stupid questions.
Yeah, but everyone was so kind and supportive, and I learned so much just from that first season alone. That, I'm 100% different coming out of it.
What of I would imagine you're getting more recognized day to day by fans and starting to have these kind of fan interactions. Have any stuck out with you yet? What's the sentiment that you see in real life when a fan recognizes you? Leah? Has it been? I mean, it must be mind-boggling to have that kind of love come at you.
Yes, it's. How do I explain this? This is in a good way when I say this. I promise you. I'm not really good with putting words together, so it might come out wrong. But I've been on shows and movies before, and of course, there's been people that's like, "Oh, I know you and stuff," but this is different. This is a whole different level in a good way, and I just when. How do I explain this? When I went to, where did I go? It was somewhere in LA. I went somewhere, and it was all these people were just all fans of Percy Jackson. And it was crazy because I was actually trying to get around them because they weren't in line. So I was like, oh, excuse me, but they were actually talking about the series right there. I didn't even know. And then I was like, excuse me. And then they turned around, and they were like, oh. I was like, and then they started laughing, and then I was like, what did I just do wrong? I was like, oh my goodness, I hope I didn't just push somebody or something or trip. And then they were like, are you coming to surprise us? Oh my gosh. I was like, no, I'm just buying something. No. But I still didn't know what they were talking about. So I was like, what's going on? They were like, you're Annabeth on Percy Jackson, I said. And then just for that whole entire second, I was like, I am? And then I was like, what are you talking about? And then it got to me, and I was like, oh yeah. And then it's so amazing seeing that these people are are waiting and being so patient to watch something that you're in. And it's even better because that's also motivational because you're oh, I'm gonna do this for them, So I did this and I filmed this for you guys, and I hope you guys really like it. Thank you.
We're just about out of time, but I do want to look. I don't want to get greedy, but what is the future plan? You guys must be ready to. You want to do this again? I would imagine tomorrow. You ready to do season 2?
Oh yeah, all of us.
Yeah.
Are you writing already? How far along are you? I mean, the audience has to be there. The audience, by the way, will be there. What's the plan going forward?
Can we keep this just in the room?
Yeah,
I think-
obviously. Don't say anything. Yeah.
So you can-
Well, I mean, we are doing what we can to prepare on the eventuality that we get the green light. We don't know. It is not official. We're getting reactions like we've had tonight, amazing reactions from everywhere. And so,
The studio too.
yeah, I mean, so if I was the oracle, I would say the auguries are good. But we have started writing what those episodes would look like, sort of doing the series format, talking about the first few episodes, and that's about as much as we can do right now until we get the go-ahead. So the best way to assure that that goes forward, tell all your friends to tune into Disney Plus and watch.
December 20th is the date. Percy Jackson and the Olympians. I have a feeling this audience will be watching. Congratulations on the show, guys. What an achievement. It's fantastic. Get used to this kind of reception. It's going to continue. And thank you so much for your time tonight, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.